Fight Voter Fraud Incorporated works tirelessly to promote transparency and accountability in the electoral process, advocating for measures that prevent fraudulent voting and protect our representative republic and the rights of citizens. Linda Szynkowicz and her band of non-partisans are committed to upholding the integrity of U.S. elections and are currently investigating over 280,000 cases of suspected voter fraud. How can you help to ensure we have one vote for one legal voter? Here's Linda.
Hi, welcome to SYNC-O-WICZ. This is episode 7. My name is Linda Szynkowicz. I'm the founder and CEO of Fight Voter Fraud, and you are watching us on OBBM Network. So thank you, everybody, for tuning back in. We do have some exciting news. The first week of June, we are actually going to be going to an hour program that will allow us to have guests and to give you information. Because the last couple of weeks we had excellent guests on, Dominic Rapini talking about the Act Blue information, and of course Steve Stern and talking about Tina Peters. But I'll tell you, Steve Stern does so much more than talk about Tina Peters. He's absolutely fabulous. Every 2 weeks he has a program that you can tune into. It's millions of people around the world end up seeing it on Wednesdays at 2:00. So anyway, let's get to some of the information. There's always so much going on. It's like I had mentioned to the audience that I print out different bits of information that I get from across the country in the different states. And also I have a number of people who send me information in order for us to get it out there. Because this program is to let everybody know we're not focused on one state. Everybody is doing something. Some people are doing it better than others. And I got to tell you, I look at everything from both sides. And sometimes things are just like, did they really say that? Colorado, for instance, I told Tim, my technical director, before I came on, when I read this, my head was like ready to explode. Where else than Colorado? Colorado Voting Rights Act and election intimidation protections are signed into law. This is where Tina Peters was prosecuted for protecting the data that she, under the law, had to protect. So the state of Colorado is not exactly the best place for election integrity. But as I was reading down through this, they talk about the whole thing of people being disenfranchised. Is that a word that should just be taken out of the dictionary? Because that is used for everything. Whether it's something because of your race, you're being disenfranchised and not able to vote. I don't know about you, but when I go in to vote and I say my name and they check me off the list, it doesn't say, white Anglo-Saxon American. Everybody has the same right. When you're on the voter rolls, you have already supposed to have proven it's you, although we know that's not the case in many, many states. But our commander-in-chief is trying to help fix that, trying to get everybody on the same page. So every day there is something going on. And right now, as all of you know, it's the legislative sessions are in full swing. We're out of Connecticut. I'm not even going to bother telling you about Connecticut because we go the opposite way. There is nothing here in Connecticut that even attempts to have election integrity. So I think until the voter rolls are clean, which we're working on, where we get people who know what the people here in Connecticut want, one vote for one legal voter, really don't care about your race. I absolutely don't care about your sex. Doesn't matter. Just one vote for one legal voter. That's it. That's all we've been working on. And like I said, in getting the information out there where things are changing. Now, Harriet Dillon is the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division down in D.C. I know her. She's a Spitfire, I'll tell you. She's a Spitfire. She's going to get things done. on. One of the changes that was just made was instead of investigating, very particular things that have gone on with people, with the votes, etc., the new mission, and I want to let you know what this is, it's in quotes. The mission of the Voting Rights Section of the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division is to ensure free, fair, and honest elections, unmarred by fraud, errors, or suspicion. All right, how many of you out there think that's a bad idea? Anybody? Is that a bad idea? No, it's a good idea. Every time we turn around, somebody is whining and complaining that their rights are being taken away from them for no particular reason, again, by addressing, the color of their skin or their sex, male, female, other, I don't know. I mean, it's awful. One vote for one legal voter. You go, you register. Now, here's the other thing. What is the official language of the United States? It's not our trivia question right now. It's just a question. Think about it. What is the official language of the United States? Back in the early 1780s, it may have been different. Do you realize that by one vote, we would have been speaking German as the official language? Not English. English is the official language. English is the official language, and the bald eagle is our official bird. By one vote, Ben Franklin would have had the turkey. I'm so glad that Ben lost that in that vote. So, with that said, how many other different languages do you think are spoken across the country? I'm sure there's hundreds. I'm sure there's people who have their families that speak Italian in Italian households, or Portuguese, or Mexican. You've got all the different Indian languages. You have people from India. You have people from, down in Honduras and other places. I'm talking about the legitimate U.S. citizens. German, Irish, Ukrainian, Russian. We are the melting pot for the country, for the entire world. But the one thing that we have is that when you come to America the right way, English is our language. So I got to tell you, kudos to the Supreme Court in Iowa, because there's certain people in Iowa that did not want to have just English for the voting. Why are we paying double and triple and quadruple? If you're going to have voting information in another language other than English, why in Connecticut did we choose Spanish? We pay twice as much for anything that's printed because we add on the Spanish language. I'm sorry, you're here in the United States. If you're an American, you speak English. You can speak Spanish on your own. That's okay. We are not disenfranchising you because you decided not to learn English, to be in a country that speaks English. So yay to Iowa. Iowa Supreme Court rejects LULAC's lawsuit over English only voting materials. So yay. Who'd have thought? In the center of our country, wanting to have English as the only language used in our voting materials. I believe our commander-in-chief has also had that on his list as well. So we do have a number of states that are working to have only U.S. citizens vote, and to make sure they vote and to prove they vote, that they're U.S. citizens. It is not a big deal. It really isn't. Any of you that have a driver's license out there, the ones who already have the star on it because it's the real ID, you already had to prove that you were a U.S. citizen. Did you have to study for it? Did it take a long time? Or did you just grab several documents, including maybe your passport or some other documentation that's needed? It's not a big deal. So, like I said, we do have states that are actually getting on board ahead of time with the fact that they only want US citizens voting and that they have to show an ID. It's not a problem. Again, we went over that, in last episode and an episode before about where else you have to show an ID. This is not a big deal. It really isn't. And we are not disenfranchising anybody. Like I said, I think that's one of the words that I would really like taken out of the vocabulary that has anything to do with election integrity. If anybody is being, quote, disenfranchised, it's the American voters who have had other people vote in our elections that should not be allowed to vote in the elections. We need to clean it up. We have a president who is cleaning up the swamp, who's saving us billions of dollars. But again, we got people saying, oh, it's a bad idea. Or all the lies and everything else that are out there. It all depends on what you're listening to. Because even with this, with Trump being over in Saudi Arabia right now, I spoke with someone this morning and they didn't quite understand what that whole deal was about. And I'm like, well, this is the third leg. It's the business end of completing everything that we're doing here between the Doge and the tariffs and now having business come into the United States and share equally with everything. So even simple things like that are just not brought out, which is extremely frustrating. So we do have some states that are moving forward. So in Michigan, you have the citizens themselves that are trying to get an amendment onto their ballot in order to have proof of ID. Now we need to cheer these Michigan people on because they need to get 440,000 signatures to be able to get the question on their ballot because apparently the legislators in Michigan don't think it's necessary. Really? Really? I mean, you got to think about this stuff. This stuff is crazy. So some of the other ones that are enacting similar ones are Louisiana and Wyoming. Louisiana's law was approved in 2024 and became effective in 2025. So again, yay, Louisiana. They're ahead of the curve. So I've had a few people ask me if they thought that states that don't comply with cleaning their voter rolls, which according to HAVA, the Help America Vote Act, should lose the funding. 100%. 100% that if the NVRA, the National Voter Registration Act, is not complied with by any state, Connecticut, did I say Connecticut? Connecticut is so far from complying. All it is making sure you're a U.S. citizen, you're 18 years old, and that you're eligible to vote in the state of Connecticut, basically by being a resident. We do not have that. We don't even have a Secretary of State who is making any attempt whatsoever in making sure that's correct. So the other states that aren't doing things, we know Louisiana's moving forward, Wyoming, you got Iowa, Texas. Oh my goodness, Texas has all kinds of things that they're doing. Yeah, they should get the HAVA money, the Help America Vote Act money, to help them with the elections. Do you really think that we should still have the government giving money to states that are ignoring the law, which says they have to do the stuff, otherwise they'll lose their funding? Do you realize that's actually in the law? That if they don't comply, they don't get funding? Yet it's never been withheld from anybody, from any state. So we really need to shake things up. You don't want your vote stolen from you because guaranteed whatever state you're in, at some point, your vote was negated, whether it was in your county or in your town or in the state. Somebody negated your vote. We just want an equal playing field. think I've heard that before. I don't know. Tim? Tim's my technical director. Yeah, we've heard this before. It's the same thing with the tariffs. We're tired of having other countries take advantage of us. Well, I think all of us should be tired of having our Secretary of States not doing their job, or our election or county officials not making sure the voter rolls are clean. It's very simple. It's really simple. They're in jobs that's what they were put into that position. Some of them were even elected. If you were elected to a position and you're expected to do a job and it's not being done, and you're whining about not getting enough money, or "Oh, I don't have enough time," well, then you rally the people in your county or your town to get together, to get more funding through your town, through your county, or through your state so you can do your job properly. It's pretty simple. So a lot of the stuff that's going on across the country, because the legislators are in session, so we're seeing a lot more things happening. We do have the Pennsylvania House advances their voter ID, and it's reform. Pennsylvania. Wow. And of course, you have the detractors from that. We always have that going on. But I think the biggest one, no pun intended, is Texas, because things are definitely bigger in Texas. You have got a phenomenal Attorney General Paxton, who basically has had enough, and he has just been going after everything that needs to be gone after. So, first of all, the legislators in Texas, now mind you, they are only in session for 5 months every 2 years. So they really need to be getting their stuff done, and they're winding down. As a matter of fact, bills that hadn't moved forward and hadn't been voted on yet, or at least read for the first time, as of May 15, that's the cutoff. Nothing's moving from there. But we do see a number of election laws that are moving forward. So everybody, let's cheer on the SB 16. Again, it's a voter ID, verification, and some other resources that would be utilized to verify that you really are a resident of Texas. So they take it seriously down there. And we all should, as a matter of fact. So just this past week, Texas moves to restore the Attorney General's power to prosecute elections. Let's see, State Representative Matt Shaheen will allow the Attorney General to step in and prosecute election law violations if a local prosecutor fails to act within 6 months of receiving law enforcement report. And that was House Bill 5138. So, yes, we certainly need him to be able to start prosecuting. Oh, look at this. As a matter of fact, 6 people are charged in the Texas elections investigations involving vote harvesting. So again, the Attorney General is out there bringing felony charges in a case that Latino rights activist has criticized as politically driven. Really? We don't care if you break the law. Do our laws have, a picture of, a white person, a brown person, a, red person or yellow person next to it, and saying what the different penalties would be? No, you break the law. It's you breaking the law. And it shouldn't be going after people who are trying to uphold the law. So again, even though it was in Frio County, the charges expand an investigation that included the raids last year of Latino campaign volunteers near San Antonio, including an 87-year-old woman, although none of them have been indicted yet. But vote harvesting is a felony. I mean, that's collecting, information from somebody else or their vote, which is not legal. It's not legal, but they're doing it. So some of the information we also get here at SYNC-O-WICZ is looking at Texas scorecard. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous for information. They are always giving you up-to-date information that is going on in the legislative sessions. Again, as I've said before, you have electiontransparency.org, Ken Cuccinelli's organization that he has. Every day they have stuff from all over the country on different things that are going on in the legislature. So there's a number of different places to find a lot of this stuff. Like I said, we just want one vote for one legal voter. We say kudos to those who are doing something, but we also have these detractors. We always have people that say doing the right thing is wrong. It's wrong. So we're going to rely on you as level-headed citizens, Americans, that you can help. As we've said before, you can help locally. If you know the people on your street, check the list of the voters to see if the people that moved are still registered. Notify your election officials. Kind of got to do this proactively, because it's not election time, that we don't need to do anything. Now's the time that we need to get this stuff done. So something else that Fight Voter Fraud has, and you can go to fightvoterfraud.org, starting the first week of June. We know we delayed this. We thought we'd have the information way back in January, but we needed to make sure we had all the voter rolls and all the NCOA and a whole bunch of other necessary information. If you're interested in finding out the double registered or double voters in your city, your county, your state, we will give you them for free. You go to our website, fill out the form, and we will send it to you. As it stands now, our data will be ready probably after the 1st of June, because it's 24/7 that we are updating everything, and it takes a long time with the millions and millions and millions and millions of people we have across the country. But we're more than happy to give that information out for free. And just so you know, anybody who does get that information, we are setting up training across the country to show you how to do the deep dive. We actually have a book on that we put together. It took us 2.5 months. And we are willing to share it, and we'll give you more information on that once you contact us. So again, you can go to fightvoterfraud.org. A new segment we were going to add to our program. It's our trivia question. What 3 states in the country do not have Secretary of States? There's only 3 of them. 3 states. Since we don't have a commercial break, bing, we'll tell you now. It is Alaska, Hawaii, and Utah are the 3 states. And Hawaii actually just appointed, because the lieutenant governors handle the voting, Hawaii just recently appointed an election official to actually handle it. So those are the 3, Alaska, Hawaii, and Utah. And our vote notes, which we keep talking about, when we're finally going to get it up there, is Andy Thomas from Nevada, along with Mark Cook. There is a wonderful video to show the 3 things that they were astonished to find when they were investigating the voter rolls and information in Nevada. So you're going to need to check that out. Again, go to fightvoterfraud.org. We will have that up on the website. So I want to thank everybody again for listening to SYNC-O-WICZ. This has been episode 7. I want to thank the OBBM Network for having our program on there. My producer is Olivia, and Tim is my technical director, and the executive director and distribution is promoted by OBBM Network. Sign up for the free subscription. Leave us comments. Send it to your friends. Share. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.